Here's a number that should worry you more than any tax bill. If you're a senior driver in Canada and you miss one appointment, just one, you can lose your license without a court hearing, without a warning letter that actually explains what's happening, and without anyone sitting you down to walk you through it. And when that license goes, something else goes with it that most people never price into the conversation: your car insurance. Drive on a suspended license, even by accident, even because a letter got lost in the mail, and you are very likely driving completely uninsured. That's not a hypothetical. That's how the rule is written. Today I'm going to walk you through the 5 rules that now govern every Canadian senior's driver's license, what they actually cost you, in dollars and in time, and exactly what to do so none of them catch you off guard. Rule number 4 is the one almost nobody knows exists until it's already cost them something. Stay with me for that one especially. Before we start, one honest disclaimer. Driver licensing in Canada is run province by province, not by Ottawa. I'm going to use Ontario, British Columbia, and Alberta as our 3 working examples because together they show you the pattern every province follows. But the exact ages and forms in your province may differ slightly, so the real action item today is simple. Know your own province's rule, not just mine. Now some of you are already thinking, is this even legal? Can they really take my license over a form? Yes, and it's not new overreach. It's built into provincial transportation law and has been for years. What's changing is enforcement getting tighter as the senior population grows. So let's get into exactly how it works. Rule number 1, the renewal clock speeds up. What it is, once you hit a certain age, your license stops renewing on autopilot every 5 years. It switches to a shorter cycle with medical and cognitive requirements attached. In Ontario, at age 80, you move on to a 2-year renewal cycle, and each renewal now includes a vision test and a cognitive screening. In British Columbia, Road Safety BC requires a driver's medical examination report, DMER, completed by your doctor or nurse practitioner at age 80, again at 85, and every 2 years after that. In Alberta, the medical exam requirement starts at 75, comes again at 80, and then repeats every 2 years past 80. What it's worth, or costs you, in Ontario, the standard 2-year senior renewal itself runs around $36. In BC, the DMER carries roughly a $75 fee, billed either through your provincial health plan or directly to you depending on your doctor's setup. In Alberta, the recommended physician rate for the medical exam is about $85. None of these are large numbers on their own, but miss the deadline, and the cost isn't the fee, it's the lapse. How you get it right. Mark your birthday the year before your province's trigger age. When the renewal notice or DMER form arrives in the mail, usually a couple of months ahead of the deadline, book the appointment immediately. In BC specifically, if Road Safety BC doesn't receive your completed DMER within 45 days of it being issued, your license can be cancelled outright. That's not a grace period you want to test. Why hasn't anyone told me this before? Because it's mailed to you once, buried in government language, and there's no follow-up call. The system assumes you'll read it. That's exactly why we're spelling it out here. Rule number 2, the cognitive screening. What it is, in Ontario, part of your 80+ renewal is a short cognitive screening. The 2 tools used are a clock drawing exercise, draw a circle, fill in the numbers 1 through 12, then draw hands showing a specific time, and a letter cancellation task, where you cross out every letter H in a jumbled list. Ontario has used these exact 2 tools since it dropped the old computerized knowledge test back in 2014. What it's worth to you, this is not a memory quiz and it is not a road test. It's a 5 to 10 minute screen that flags early signs of cognitive impairment. Nothing more. A road test only gets triggered if your results or your driving record raise a genuine concern. For most healthy seniors, this step costs you a few minutes and nothing else. How you get it right. As of February 2025, Ontario moved these senior renewal appointments into Service Ontario centres, over 100 locations province-wide, instead of limited group sessions on fixed dates, so booking is faster than it used to be. Call 1-800-396-4233 or 416-235-3579 in the GTA as soon as your notice arrives, because slots fill quickly. If you want to walk in confident, practice drawing a clock at home the week before. That's genuinely all the studying this requires. What if I fail it? You don't get an automatic suspension. You get referred for more information, sometimes a road test, sometimes a review with a driver improvement counselor. Failing the clock isn't the end of your license. It's the start of a closer look. Rule number 3, the vision test. What it is, Every senior renewal includes a vision screening, done wearing whatever glasses you normally drive in. What it's worth, this is the quietest rule of the 5 because your eyesight changes so gradually you may not notice it yourself, until you're sitting in the chair and the test stops your renewal cold. How you get it right: book an appointment with your own optometrist a couple of months before your renewal is due. In Ontario, if you bring a complete vision report signed and dated within the last 6 months, you can skip the in-person vision screening entirely. It also means any prescription update is already sorted before you walk in, so nothing surprises you on the day. Rule number 4, the medical reporting duty. What it is, and this is the one that catches people. In Ontario and BC, your own physician, nurse practitioner, or optometrist has a legal duty to report you to the licensing authority if you have a medical condition that could affect your ability to drive safely. In Alberta, the obligation runs the other direction. You, the driver, are legally required to self-report any disease or disability that might interfere with safe driving, and Alberta's rule applies to drivers of every age, not just seniors. What it's worth, the real stakes, think about what triggers this in practice. A new diagnosis, a change in medication, a dizzy spell, a sleep study result, an early memory concern. None of it feels like a driving appointment, but it can quietly trigger a medical report, a review, and in some cases a suspension, sometimes before you've even processed the original diagnosis. And a specific detail worth knowing: some very ordinary prescriptions, certain painkillers, sleep aids, anxiety medications carry driving warnings. A new prescription can change your legal fitness to drive without you doing anything wrong. Is my doctor going to report me the moment I mention a health issue? No. A report leads to a medical review, not an automatic loss of license. Very often, the licensing authority asks for more information, a fuller medical form, sometimes an on-road fitness assessment like BC's Enhanced Road Assessment. Plenty of seniors go through that process and keep driving, sometimes with a minor condition attached, like daytime-only driving. Engaging with the process protects you. Ignoring it doesn't. How you get it right: whenever you're managing a new diagnosis or a medication change, ask your doctor directly. Does this affect my license, and does either of us have a legal duty to report it? That one question closes the entire gap this rule exploits. Rule number 5, the suspension and insurance trap. What it is: if your license is suspended for any medical reason, a missed DEMER, a failed screening, an unreported condition, you are simply not permitted to drive. Full stop. What it's worth: the number that actually matters. Here's the part almost nobody connects. Car insurance policies generally only cover a licensed driver. Drive while suspended and get into any kind of incident, and you can be left personally liable for the entire cost. Vehicle damage, injury claims, everything, because your policy may not pay out. That risk starts with something as small as a missed renewal notice sitting in a pile of mail. How you get it right: the moment you complete any renewal or medical form, call your insurer to confirm your coverage is active and current. While you're at it, ask specifically about senior discounts and mature driver savings. Many insurers offer them, and almost nobody asks. It's a 5-minute call that either protects you from a 6-figure liability or puts money back in your pocket. Either way, it's worth making. So is this all designed to push seniors off the road? No, and the data backs that up. Provincial transportation bodies have said plainly that age-based testing isn't about age itself, it's about catching medical conditions early, in either direction. Most seniors who go through this process keep their license. The goal of every rule here isn't to take your keys, it's to make sure the person driving your car, you, is still safe to be there. What to do this week? Find your own province's trigger age and renewal cycle and mark the exact date. Book an eye exam with your optometrist 2 to 3 months before any renewal is due. Don't fear the cognitive screening. It's a 5-minute clock and a letter check, not a memory exam. The moment your health changes, ask your doctor directly whether it affects your license and whether it must be reported. Call your insurer the day you renew, confirm your coverage, and ask about every senior discount available. Do those 5 things, and none of these rules can quietly catch you off guard. If your license is ever suspended for a genuine medical reason, that's not the end of your independence. It's the start of a different chapter. Community driving programs, senior transit passes, and ride services set up by family are real, practical options, and the seniors who struggle most are usually the ones who hide a problem rather than deal with it. Know your province's exact rule. Book early. Get the eye report done. Ask your doctor the direct question, and call your insurer the same day you renew.